So apparently there's question as to whether the applicant has legal access to the property that they want the permit for. My question, and I'll ask the director, is legal access to the property in question normally a prerequisite for even accepting an application?
Yes. However, I do want to note that we did discuss this morning with staff as we learned about the issue, and we did consider that we could condition it in this case. And so I think that's a viable option too, if the commission wants to consider that.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. If I could just touch upon this matter. No, you're absolutely correct. One of our prerequisites is we make sure that there is legal access to a particular project area. In this particular case, the application indicated that there was legal access through an existing public roadway, and we had, looking at our maps, we had no issue to question it, because even our maps indicated it was a government roadway. What ended up bringing it to our attention for us to kind of look into it more was when staff had gone out on a site inspection, the road was gated with a sign that said private road. And so at that point, they made contacts to different agencies to get information regarding that roadway either being a county road, an old road in limbo, a state road, or if it was actually private ownership. Through all of the research, it seems at this point that it is a private roadway, that it's, even though it doesn't currently have a TMK for it identifying ownership, in discussion with the Department of Transportation, they indicated they do not own the road, and that the road was owned by the adjoining landowner. And so at this point, there needs to be clarification that the applicant has that legal access. It may be something easy to provide. It may be something where they need to go and legally acquire that access. So we're just not sure to what length that may occur.
So the question before the commission is basically, as I understand from the director, whether to proceed on a conditional basis and assume that it's somewhat likely that you will be granted access, since we've already had hearings and everything. On the other hand, if it's not at all likely that you will be given access, then the application should have never been received by the planning department, and we should continue it until it is. So are you pretty confident that you have access over this private road, and if so, why?
When I originally purchased the property, I purchased 2 larger properties above that specific parcel, and in order to gain better access to those properties is the reason I purchased that property. And so I had it surveyed, and we had, I don't know what we required, but we went to consultants and had it surveyed to show where the pins were and that there was access from Old Kalapana Road.
Could you please state your name for the record?
Sure, I'm Dwight Stevens.
Dwight Stevens. And when you purchased the property, you got a title report showing an easement over that private road, and you can.
Yes.
Yes, I did get a title. I don't have the title report with me, but I did get a title, and it was very important that I have access because that was the reason I was purchasing the property.
My name is Danette Martin, and I'm here representing Verizon Wireless.
I do have the title report, and I provided it to staff. Unfortunately, I don't have sufficient copies to give you, but they do have a copy of this. There is it's called a deed of gift, which we believe is the access, but unfortunately, it doesn't have a map attached to it. It's just meets and bounds. So what I propose, either Dwight can provide the surveyed information that he got when he purchased the property, or Verizon can employ a surveyor to look at the meets and bounds and map it out to ensure that we in fact do have legal access.
Okay, so your belief is that the meets and bounds description in the title report corresponds to the road?
Yes.
And is there any disagreement with that from the planning department staff?
I wouldn't say disagreement, but I would just say that we differ on our conclusion. Again, we have in-house staff that is able to research title, and looking at the documents provided, it did not clearly identify legal access to the property. And that's why we brought this to the commission as well as the director's attention.
And your staff, the staff in the planning department, had the opportunity to review the title report and this meets and bounds description?
Correct, as well as make contact with the Department of Transportation and discuss this matter with them, which is where we learned that it was actually a private road.
Right.
So this is the highway, which
Mhm.
has no legal access. This is the roadway. Further back, there's a property right here, 1278 or 12728. That is the property that apparently owns this private
That's
road.
the teardrop one, yeah, Jeff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the access comes from the highway through that property onto this private roadway, and then would go this way. But again, we cannot find a connection where this property shows that they have access over this property and over this roadway to their property.
If I could give you a little bit of backup on this, back in probably early 2000s, Verizon was contacted by Civil Defense, and they had the lava viewing area down there, and they didn't have any cell phone coverage. So they asked if they could provide it. So AT&T and Verizon both put temporary cell towers down there, and they did it. The county went to the state, got a grant to use that property for the cell phone towers, and that cell phone tower only covers just a small area around that. It's right next to the church there, and it only covers a small area. As a matter of fact, most of the people that use that tower actually have to drive to it in order to use it. So the temporary cell phone tower that's down there can't be upgraded for the current technology. So, and also it doesn't, like I said, it's got limited coverage. So when this last lava event happened, Civil Defense came to Verizon Wireless and said, hey, we really have to get service to Seaview Estates. And so this project was actually put on hold, but because of that request, it was resurrected. There's not that many people out there to really support a cell phone tower financially, but this is a community service that Verizon really wants to do, and that was the reason why it was so important to them to be able to cover not only Seaview Estates, but also Black Sands Estates. Mm-hmm. That's why the placement was so much better. And the radio frequency engineer is going to be happy that you chose that the location that you did, because they said it's going to provide them with better coverage.
Thank you.
So the panel, just to add on to her question, there's no cell tower down there. They did put up one in Kapoho right next to, a little bit past Green Lake, behind our orchard there got taken down by lava. If you guys don't know what is a cow is cell on wheels. So on my property at that time, these guys came first was, I think, T-Mobile. So they brought their cow all the way from Oahu. And concerns is important, but at this moment is, like what Dean said, is the overall. And down there's no cell coverage. Trust me, guys, I live in that area. You squinting just for one bar, just boom. You can't even call in Seaview. The only way is through texting. That's the only way. It's so hard that there's no other coverage. And what she just said, the recent lava flow, early 2000s, is they had a small cow. Cow only goes so high. You gotta go close to them to even get one signal. But like for Mr. Garcia, going back there, I don't know if you know, like CB radios get guys with so much frequency. Boom, you can light up a light bulb on someone's CB radio on their car. Is that serious? Is, on a vehicle, it's moving. If the guys who do CB. But as far as for Verizon, there's nothing out there. Not even one cell tower. So what they're trying to achieve is, some sort of rate to the extent of, in addition to what he's concerned, always raise the bar of excellence, so then you don't have any opposition.
Thank you. Any further discussion, questions about this? If not, I thank you. I think it's about time to poll the commission. Remember, this is a motion for approval with conditions. Condition being the location on the right image, 155-foot setback to the road, all the conditions that were added to the original conditions, and the condition about the access.
Commissioner Au.
Yes.
Commissioner Rafpi.
Aye.
Commissioner Replogle.
Aye.
Commissioner Aguinaldo.
Aye.
Chair Clarkson.
Aye.
The motion passes 5-0.